Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Healthy Happy Hour. We're having a great time. Oh, yeah, Debbie forgot to tell me about. I forgot to put it on. How about that? It's not a show without a hat, right? Got to have the yellow hat involved. Ah, all right. And today we're making something great. This is, look at all these great chicken thighs. You know, I am a sucker for chicken thighs. They're so much more flavorful and so much easier to cook than breasts. So I'm going to get my skillet. This is a one skillet meal. I know I've got other things out here because I'm explaining to you what I'm going to do with those. But right now, let's just start slicing up. We're just going to slice these. This is a 20-minute, you can time if you want. This is a 20-minute skillet. It only takes 20 minutes to put this whole deal together from start to finish. And I tell you what, anybody on a weeknight, that's important. We've all had to get something done on an early weeknight, haven't we? I mean, you remember that, don't you, sweetheart?
Yes.
By the way, when Gene Halford, Laney, shows up, he said he always appreciates it whenever I call his name out. So make sure.
Okay. Sharon House is on.
Who? Shirley?
Sharon House.
Oh, Sharon House. Sharon, hey, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Chan.
Oh, Laura's always tuning in. We've got so many good things going on. I tell you what, we're excited about what's going on. Racing season's about ready to kick off. A lot of my buddies going to be racing, including Cornbread Chin, her son, going to be racing again this year. Got him a new paint job. I saw that the other day. Everything's ready to roll on that car, looks like. Vinny. By the way, who? Vinny, hope to see you, man. Hope you're doing well today. I hope the missus is doing good too. Anna's had some difficulties, so we hope she's doing well. Got a great Champ Racing show for you tomorrow night. Waylon Nicholson, the flagman at Toccoa Raceway, is going to be my guest host. You know, Waylon used to work with us at Peach State Speedway, and he was also the flagman at Anderson Speedway whenever I was announcing over there. So Waylon and I go way, way back in our racing careers. By the way, as I mentioned to you last week, we just got back from Cozumel, and I've just booked some friends of mine on a great romantic European getaway. Doesn't that sound good? Mm-hmm. They're going to travel the Danube River, the mighty, mighty Danube. Yeah, I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to wash my hands and wash my knife off because I'm going to be using my knife for other things coming up here in just a little while. So I want to get that out of the way. Now we're going to season this. And when I said this is pepper chicken, it's not like it's bell pepper chicken. This is real pepper chicken. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I got a tablespoon of arrowroot flour. That's sort of like cornstarch, but it's a healthy version of it. So a tablespoon of arrowroot going in. Boy, that's fine flour. Look how it just goes all over me and everything else. There's a little bit of salt. Here's a little bit of 30 grinds. There's 30, that was actually 31 grinds. That's a Food Club black pepper in their little thing from Quality Foods. And I just going to want to mix all this up here, just so all this gets coated as well as possible. Because this is going to provide not only the coating for the food, but it's also going to provide a little bit of thickening agent too. I'm going to run that temperature down. I can already tell that skillet is getting hot, hot, hot.
It's getting very hot.
So, you know, you just can't wash your hands enough whenever you're working with chicken. Yeah. I'm getting ready to have to wash them again here in just a second. So I've got a tablespoon of olive oil going into my skillet. And I just want to kind of run that around a little bit. So this is going in. All the cooking shows say, man, hear that sizzle. I don't know what it is about the sizzle. Everything kind of sizzles when you put it in. But anyway, we'll do like all the big cooking shows on the cooking channel. Ooh, hear that sizzle. Okay, so now that's going to be sizzling along. We're going to give that about 5 minutes or so to cook, 5 to 7 minutes. We're going to be turning it kind of routinely through there. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to start off some water boiling right here. Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to serve this. It says serve this over noodles. Well, here's a great noodle substitute. This is fettuccine. This is the tofu version of shirataki fettuccine. Now, this is just a great substitute. Only got 20 calories. It is carb-free, and it's tofu, and it's perfect. So we're going to put that in there once that gets going. So while I'm going to take an opportunity right now to to rinse this. So I'm going to put this over in my colander.
There's Gary Cortellini.
Cortellino? Gary, I've never known how to pronounce your name, but I appreciate you tuning in. Gary's very active in our city here.
They're at Jekyll Island enjoying seafood.
Oh, are you? Oh, man, I tell you what. We just well, as a matter of fact, I booked a trip today hoping to go to Hilton Head here soon for Debbie and me. So we're going to be down there very close to on the Georgia coast and be enjoying some goodies down there as well. So nothing like seafood from the coast. So we're just going to let this go ahead and cook here for about, I don't know, 6 or 7 minutes. Again, we're on a 20-minute time clock, if you want to call it that. So I'm going to prepare some of my other vegetables right now. So while I'm doing that, a couple of side dishes that we want to have with this. We want to have a little bit of squash and some asparagus. And here's the way I do my squash. I don't know if you do it this way or not, but I cut off the first piece. Now I've got something flat to work with. So it's not constantly wanting to slide over on me and let me cut my fingers off.
Of course, we have an implement that keeps you from doing that you're not using.
Oh, that's right. I forget about your implement that you gave me for that. Mm-hmm. But that's more for chopping. So
okay,
that really isn't for this. So I've got this, and I've also got some asparagus. And I'm just going to put these in a grill pan. And I'll put my special house seasoning on these. I'll explain that house seasoning to you in just a minute. But we're going to get these ready. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take just a little olive oil. Spread it on each one.
What is this dish called?
This dish is called 20-minute, 1 skillet, pepper and mushroom chicken.
Pepper and mushroom chicken.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't sound very attractive, but it is very good. So, continuing to work on this chicken. Going to run the heat back up a little bit because it needs to have just a little more sizzle going on than it's got right now. We'll start to turn these over so they can get browned on both sides. And I've got my water going already over there for my noodles. Those tofu noodles, they're really, you can eat them raw if you want to call it raw. They're already cooked in the package. But if you like to, I certainly like to give them just a little bit of a heat through. So I'll do them about 5 minutes. So we'll do that right there at the end when we put our final things in here. Got a little prep work to do, so let's head on over to the, well, can't get enough of these turned over. They keep showing up on me. Okay, so while that's going on, let's set these back aside. And they're already oiled up and ready to go. And there's a little bit of extra oil down there. And I always like to just, don't waste oil. Move that around. And so we got that going. Now I'm going to prep my onion, my garlic, and my, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Just get a piece of paper towel here and wipe that down a little bit, just so everything's just not quite so messy.
Oily.
Yeah, so oily. So we're going to take this onion, going to chop the ends off, and I'm going to run it through my special little thing here that I love so much. I have no idea how I wound up with one of these, but I sure do enjoy it. I think it was Cindy from Wisconsin. We were on a trip to Phoenix, Arizona, and I roomed with, there were like 20 of us in one big room. And Cindy fixed our lunches, our meals for us every day. And I think this is where I first learned about this little deal right here. What a fantastic tool this is.
Joey Grubb.
Joey, you're talking about a cook. There's a cook right there, Mr. Joey Grubb. He's got, how many slabs of ribs you got on the smoker today, Joey? Yeah, I know he's got boiled peanuts going all the time. You never can tell what Joey's got going on. He's got plenty of things happening over at his plantation. All right, so there's our onions. It's ready to go. Now I've got some green onions I'm going to be using as well. So we want to just prepare them. cut off the root ends and pull that off, and that'll get us down to a good section there, just peeling that onion back. And then we'll take off these parts here that are kind of wilty. And I'll go ahead and chop those up. Now this is where I need to use your little thing, sweetheart. Let me see if I can find it. Ah, here we go. Yeah. Yeah, see? Keeps you from having to worry about whether or not you're going to cut your fingers off. So it is a cool tool. So we're going to put the onions over to the side right here. And it's not long before we're going to be putting our mushrooms in. Now, I just bought from Quality Foods, I just bought the sliced mushrooms. You can buy any kind of mushrooms you want to put in here. But I just bought the little baby bellas, little portobello mushrooms. And so I'm going to be using those today. And I'll just take them right out of here. They're already washed. They're already cleaned. And sometimes it's a great value to do that rather than having to try to prep your own.
Joey says smoked bologna today.
Oh, that's right. I saw that on Facebook. Man, I saw that big old slab of bologna, and I saw the one that you had already grilled that had those great grill marks in it. Man, that looked great, Joey. I have never taken a whole bologna and smoked it. I'm going to have to try that.
Make a lot of good stuff.
Hey, Joey, sometime soon I want you to co-host a radio show with me. You think you can make the trip over here one Thursday night to do a co-hosting of the radio show with me? So now we're getting some browning on. I got that heat turned back up, and the browning is going so well. Doesn't take this long to cook through. Once the browning starts, it will cook through in no time flat. So we're going to give that just a couple of more minutes. Now, while that's going on, let me tell you about this seasoning that I have. This is my house seasoning. My house seasoning, I've been using it for years. I really like it. It consists of 5 tablespoons of Old Bay seasoning, 1 tablespoon of poultry seasoning, 1 tablespoon of garlic salt, and 1 tablespoon of black pepper. And that's how I make my house seasoning. So that's just a little something I've come up with, and it seems to work out really well. So I'm going to just sprinkle this liberally on all these things, and they'll go in the grill pan. Many times I'll do this on the grill outside or whatever, but these are going on the grill pan in here so everybody can see what's going on. So we're going to heat the grill pan up and get it going. Whoop, whoop, almost lost some of my stuff, sweetheart. It's just about ready to take out. These are almost cooked through. It's going to give them another couple of minutes just to make sure that we have that temperature up to 100. 165 is what you need to have breast meat up to. Really, you're supposed to have chicken thighs up to 175. You can usually tell whenever they get the firmness. Like, see that one right there? See how firm that is to the touch? Mm-hmm. That one you can tell is already done. Now, some of these you can see that they're a little more limp. There used to be an old saying that went by, and it was something like that. That's like steak, medium rare, medium well. That's like steak, medium rare, and that's like steak rare. If you push on it, you lose those little areas right there. Sort of the same thing with chicken. We're kind of in this mode right now. We want to be in that mode. So just a funny little thing I came up with at some point in time. I heard somebody say, and I thought that was kind of cool. Oh, that's looking good. Look at that browning going on. Mm-hmm. The browning is actually, it is called, let me see if I can get this right. Trying to think of the name of it. The remoulade. Man, I'll have to look that up again. But anyway, it is an actual French cooking term. The browning adds so much flavor to it. All of these little pieces are already done. I'm just making sure these bigger chunks, these thicker ones, get plenty of action there, so they'll be done. All right, so while that's going on, my water's starting to come to a boil here. I've got my grill pan going, and even though I've got oil on those things, I like to take a little pan and put it on my grill pan just to make sure that it's going to be okay. So we're going to take the chicken. Let me get it into a platter. Let's see. That's not going to be big enough. I think I'm going to use oh, thank you, sweetie. I think I'm going to use a pie plate. You know, pie plates are so versatile. I like pie plates for so many things. Now this chicken, the good thing about this too, it will continue to cook here. It'll sit here and cook for another 3 or 4 minutes. Basically the rest of the time that it takes us to do this.
Roger Murray is watching.
Roger, hey man, hope you're doing good today. You know, so many of Roger's family worked for me when I had Colonial Airlines.
Really?
He had brothers and aunts and, I don't know, all kind of cousins and everybody that worked for me at Colonial Airlines back in the day when I had that furniture manufacturing company. More of his family worked there than my family did. Okay, so now we're going to set this back over here. I'm going to reduce the heat just a little bit because now we're going in with I need another tablespoon of oil. And the shrooms are going in. You know, when I watch some of these things back, it's so weird for me to see a left-handed person doing this. And that's coming from me. Yeah, I'm used to seeing me do it, but I'm so used to seeing other cooks on other shows who aren't left-handed doing this, and it's just weird, man. Just weird. All right, so we got that going in. We got the onion going in. I've got 3 cloves of garlic going in. Sweetheart, I'm sorry, but that other just takes too much work to try to get it off of there. I think this is just the better route to go with my garlic, so just going to stick that in there. And let me get a knife
Laura
here.
says it's a nice pan. Where did you get that pan?
Believe it or not, I got it at Walmart. Who said that?
Laura, Jen.
Oh, yeah, Laura, it was. I got it at Walmart in Asheville, North Carolina. They didn't carry it at Walmart here. And I was so tickled to find it because I am a stickler for good pans. And I got it at Walmart in Asheville. That was pre-Helene, so I don't know if Walmart is still there or not. It was right down by the river. I got several of those Walmart pans in that same style. I've got a 12-inch, a 14-inch, and I've got this big mother here, whatever this is. Okay, so we're going to let this cook down for 2 or 3 minutes. And I'm going to add to that a 1/4 cup of water. That'll help that, oops, got one escape there. That'll help that to simmer down. Okay, my grill pan is hot. So it's time now to start grilling the squash.
And the asparagus.
And these asparaguses. Now the green onions will go in. That's just a garnish that will go in at the end. So we're not too concerned about the green onions right now. We are probably less than 5 minutes away from completing this. So we're going to let these mushrooms just cook down somewhat.
What about your noodles?
Noodles are going in right now.
Right now.
Yeah, I'm going to need another spoon here for noodles. So the noodles are going in. Yep, just heating them up. Yeah, I don't really want them to come to a boil necessarily. Just heat them up. And I've already put some a little bit of salt in that water. Anytime you're fixing pasta or anything that's pasta-like, you want the water to taste like seawater. Mm-hmm. So when you start out, you want your water to be a bit salty. That really helps to permeate the entire noodle, whatever kind of noodle you're fixing. It can be egg noodles. It can be a pasta noodle. It can be zoodles. Or it can be something like this, which is tofu. You know, we had tofu when we were in China, and it just pretty much sucked. Mm-hmm. Did not like their tofu in China. But it was in big blocks. I had a phone call there. We'll have to get back to that person a little later. Sorry about that. Okay, so we got that going on. We got our, make sure that flame's going. Yeah, we got our squash going. You know what I didn't do? I didn't
You didn't use all these.
salt. Oh, those are coming in a minute. I didn't salt my squash and my asparagus. So let's put a little salt on those. And this is looking so good. We want to give these a couple or 3 more minutes just to cook down. Yeah, you like the mushrooms to be not shriveled up, but a little more soft than what they are right now. So again, this happens really quickly. So in a couple of minutes, that's going to be ready to go. Pardon me, sweetheart. Need to get to my trusty things over here and check out, see if we're getting any grill marks. Yeah, we're getting some grill marks. Let's go ahead and turn these and allow those to get some grill marks on the other side too. And I just kind of roll my asparagus around a little bit. You want the asparagus just to look beautiful and green. It's getting very close. Okay, just another minute more. And we'll start putting this whole thing together.
Noodles.
And here's what those, that's the fettuccine tofu noodles. They're so good, and honestly, they taste just like your pasta noodles. I will say, though, they don't absorb any water. So if you're used to your pasta absorbing the sauce, whether it's red sauce, spaghetti sauce, or whatever, it doesn't do that. It won't absorb anything. So don't have a lot of extra liquid around, or it just won't work for you. We are just about ready to put the chicken back in.
Okay.
That is looking so good.
Smells wonderful.
Doesn't it, though? Man. Onions are all soft now. The mushrooms are soft enough. So let's go back in with our chicken. So the chicken goes in. Make sure all those good old juices are in there, too, because that's flavor. So we're going to let that heat up. Give it just a minute or so more.
This has your veggie, your pasta, and your meat.
Yeah, it's got so much good stuff in it. And then if you add some extra vegetables to it, just side dishes, and your noodles, oh man! And again,
Now,
the noodles are tofu. They're protein. So now let's start to put these things in. This is oyster sauce. Oyster sauce is kind of like a teriyaki glaze, but it doesn't have the sweetness of teriyaki. But it is so good. So the oyster sauce goes in. And I got my little spatula, so I'd make sure I got as much of that as possible, because I didn't really want to use my, if I was around here by myself, I'd stick my thumb in there. This is soy sauce, so the soy sauce goes in too. This is a little sesame oil. I'm going to put that in at the end, so let's just wait just a second on that.
Pepper.
Yeah, I know, the pepper will go in at the very end also.
That's what makes it.
As I said, I got a lot of pepper. You know, we had 30 grinds of pepper in at the beginning. And now everything's starting to thicken up, because that arrowroot that was on the chicken is starting to help thicken things. Plus the oyster sauce is thickening things as well. Now while this is going on, as I mentioned, this doesn't, how you like this little silicone pot handle here? That's a handy thing. This doesn't absorb any water, so I'm going to go ahead and start to drain these noodles. That way they'll be completely dry when we get ready to do something with them. So we're getting a kind of a nice gravy going on there. Man, that looks so good. So now it goes our this is sesame oil. Sesame oil just gives it such a special taste, a little Asian taste, but sesame oil is a great thing to put in. Just kind of a finishing oil. Now, also going in will be our green onions. And here's another teaspoon of pepper that we'll put in. So that's it. That's it. We're done. So we're done in 25 minutes, but I spent the first 5 minutes talking, so we're gonna say that's a 20-minute dish. Sweetie, I want to use these nice little floury plates for you, okay? Right. You good with that?
I'm good.
Let me grab my tongs. Get a nice bunch of noodles. Set this over here. Now we're going to spoon in. Oh man, that looks so good. Spoon that in. This makes 4 servings, so you can get a whole quarter of this.
The whole family.
Yeah. Look at that. Look how good that looks. Okay, now we're also going to put a couple of slices of grilled squash. I'll put these 3 on there. And a few pieces of asparagus. You want this to be mine? Okay. Well, there you are, ladies and gentlemen. It is a 20-minute, 1 skillet, if you didn't do the sides. Anyway, a 1 skillet dish. It is chicken thighs, pepper chicken thighs with mushrooms. It's a great meal. Look how it's smoking. Can't wait to dig into it. Y'all have a wonderful night. Remember, if you'll just like it, I'll make sure that I send you the recipe. And again, thanks to Quality Foods in the Town Plaza Shopping Center in Toccoa for all their help and for sponsoring this program. See you, everybody. Bye-bye.